The Meijer 300 presented by Oreo for the NASCAR Nationwide Series from Kentucky Speedway tonight. Early in the going now, 31 of 200 laps complete. 2 leaders so far. Joey Logano led the first 17 laps. Then Jason Keller in that 11 car got the jump on a restart.
It is so good to see Jason Keller back up front. He has made this a career series. He got back in last year. He's got incredible pizza going for throughout the season with him as a sponsor. So it's good to see Jason running back up front again.
A couple other stories. Kyle Busch starting last. He is up to 3rd place now in that 18 car, having not had a single lap of practice in that machine before climbing aboard to start the race.
Kyle Busch has passed 32 race cars.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, look at that. Unbelievable. And I'm sure the guys in front of him know he's on the way quickly. Of course, it was Jeremy Clements, young driver out of South Carolina, that did the practice and qualifying in that car to give Kyle Busch that baseline he needed for tonight.
Yeah, Jeremy did a great job. He actually qualified the car 7th. So he's a good little shoe, gave him a good baseline. And I tell you, Kyle's putting his foot all the way up in. Then that old Toyota, it's humming.
And I know Andy Petrie upstairs is a big Jeremy Clements fan, too. Want to give him a little love there, Mr. Petrie?
Yeah, he's done a great job, Alan, getting his car set up. It's coming to the front. And he gave up a little bit in qualifying just so they would have a better race car. He said that they freed it up a little bit, but it hurt him a little bit in his qualifying effort, but it sure does look good right now.
A good solid setup Jeremy did for Kyle Busch, and that car is glued to the track. Andy, it seems like every time they unload this 18 or 20, they hardly do anything to it. It's got incredible horsepower, and it's always nose down, back up, and handling perfect.
Yeah, this is one of the things that the Gibbs guys do real well, is they know what they have when they get here. And Shannon, you got a young driver that helped them get there.
That's right. You got to give a lot of credit to Jeremy Clements. He is the one, as you said, who has been in that car all weekend. What did you say to Kyle before the race started, just to get him prepared for getting behind the wheel of that car?
I told him it was pretty free in qualifying, and it was going to be good when they untaped it for the race. And man, he shot up the front. I told him, I said, unless you wreck, you'll win this race. No doubt in my mind, the car's that good. And he's already up to 3rd, so I'm glad I had a hand in this. And the Farm Bureau Toyota is running good, and it's good for the guys, and just excited to be here.
Well, Jeremy Clements, I'm sure, has a spot as Kyle Busch's practice driver whenever he wants one, guys.
All right, thanks for the update.
That's one kid that really deserves a break.
Take a look as we got a lot more action. Kyle Busch is closing down on Joey Logano for 2nd place. The 4 car is lap traffic. That's Derek Cope. He's cleared easily.
Kyle Busch is getting ready to say, I got the same car you do, Joey. Let me show you how I do this now. Just follow me. And I tell you, Joey can learn a lot through Kyle. Once Kyle gets around him, it looks like that's going to happen pretty soon.
The one thing I've seen now that Kyle's gotten to this point, he's been pretty patient. He saw he had a car that's really capable of winning this thing. He's taking care of it. He's picking and choosing his spots where he's making these passes.
Looking underneath. Boy, he can just hug that bottom lane and take a look at the biggest movers. Well, of course, Kyle started 35th. Remember, a whole gaggle of cars went to the rear because of a number of reasons. Here he's gotten around Logano now, so he's now up 33 spots. Kevin LePage and Stan Barrett also on the move. Shannon?
Yeah, Marty, under that last caution, Kyle Busch asked his crew chief, Jason Radcliffe, how's the 20? He knows that number 20 car is another Joe Gibbs Racing and is one of the cars that he has to beat on the track. And good news for Kyle Busch is that is a Joe Gibbs Racing car. So when he asked how the setup was and how the car was driving, they told him. Mike?
Well, Shannon, I had an opportunity to speak with Joey Logano earlier this weekend to ask him about what he learned in the first 2 races in the Nationwide Series. A big smile came over his face, and he started to laugh. He said he's learned more in the last 2 races than he's learned at any other stage in his career. In particular, how to adjust to the racetrack, how to set up the car for the beginning of the race so it finishes. And here's a pass possibly for the lead as Jason Keller bears down on the 18 car. We'll get back to the Logano story shortly.
And yes, Kyle Busch, ladies and gentlemen, has only taken 40 of the 200 necessary laps to win this race to move into the lead.
I don't know, I've seen that in a long time, and that's an incredible piece of driving right there. You got to have a good handling car and a good prepared car, and Gibbs has done a great job for Kyle. This 18 is just amazing me tonight, guys.
Kyle's 4 wins, 2 of them in this 18 car, 1 in the 20 car, and then 1 for Braun Racing in the 32 car.
Well, that tells me he can win in anything. He's been on fire in the Truck Series and the Cup Series also. He's just something else.
I got to be honest, I think we could put him in a go-kart out there with these guys. He could probably win.
Tell you what, man, I watch him go down into turn one, and look how the left front just hugs right on the bottom. The left front wheel is pulling that car around, and it turns so good. You saw him pass his teammate Joey Logano right on the bottom. Joey didn't look like he could hold the bottom near as good as Kyle could. This car, it's in its zone. This car is in its zone.
All right, well, Kyle Busch has taken over control of this race. Does he stay there? Well, the night is still young, and as we've seen before, a lot can happen. Take a look at this. Some fans drove 4 hours to watch Kyle win. Well, he's up front. Well, it's been another busy day for Kyle Busch. This was earlier this afternoon up in Michigan at the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Late in the go, he gets into Ron Hornaday. Hornaday didn't like it. Kevin Harvick also got into that. Some words were exchanged. Then Kyle made the 300-mile trip. Started 35th. There he was behind Eric McClure in the 24. And then we move up to lap 39 when Jason Keller became the last of 34 victims to fall as Kyle Busch takes the lead here at Kentucky Speedway. Of course, he won back here at age 19 back in 2003. Started dead last that year, and we haven't been able to track how many laps it took him to get to the front, but I think it was more than the 40 that it took tonight.
Well, that car's on a rail.
I'll guarantee there's a lot of teams trying to figure out what in the world they're doing to make that car do what it does, but it's not only the 18, it is the 20. You see Logano right there. And look who's sneaking in the picture there, Jason Leffler.
Yeah, watching the lap times, he's had a pretty fast car. Actually running as fast as Kyle Busch has been running in the 18 the last few laps.
That is second, third, and fourth in your pictures. Jason Keller in front of Joey Logano and Jason Leffler. And here goes Logano to the high side, and it looks like he's going to take the position away, heading down the backstretch into 3. And he's got it. And here comes Leffler following along. Jamie, you got more on the 38?
Yeah, Jason Leffler really happy with his car. He said, guys, just get me to the front in clean air. This car is going to check out. We can run with the leaders. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Said the car is pretty good other than a little bit of chatter. They're looking to come in within the next 10 laps, which seems to be the pit window for everybody at this point, guys.
Well, so Jason Leffler on the march as well, but does anybody have anything for Kyle Busch? We'll have to wait and find out. Kyle has a 2.5-second lead. Let's get an update on Carl Edwards. Mike Massaro, he's mired in 24th.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He says the car is a little bit better since making that bump slug change on the right front. However, it's still a little bit loose and still jerking. Expect a wedge adjustment on this car next time down pit road, guys.
All right, let's also give you an update. Kenny Wallace is back out, although he is 31 laps down. And here we go. First man to blink as far as pit stops under green is Jason Leffler. Jamie?
He told the team, just don't make a major adjustment. The car is pretty good. It's really good in clean air, as I said. A little tight in traffic. Jason Leffler, guys, was going to try to qualify for that Cup race, but of course qualifying was rained out, so he's putting all of his effort right here tonight, looking for his first win of the season. Right sides, left sides, and Jason Leffler is going to be down and away.
So the first of our lead pack cars to make a pit stop as we're working lap 53 of 200. Kyle Busch, meanwhile, has now opened up a 3-second lead as he is getting ready to go around Stanton Barrett, who is in 26. So that would mean 25 cars on the lead lap once he gets around. Take a look at the battle for 6th place right now. You've got Scott Wimmer and David Stremme, and Wimmer's going underneath him.
These guys still racing hard. They know they're coming to a green flag stop, and I'm sure they want to get as many spots as they can before they do that.
And right now, guys, the track has cooled down a lot. It's almost completely dark here in Kentucky right now, and the track is making a big change. So I really think this next 4-tire stop, they're going to make some adjustments and start chasing this new track right now.
Stremme gets held up by the lap traffic of the 52, and that's Brad Teague, so that's going to cost him a little bit. Allows Wimmer to get about 3 cars on him. And we're getting word that a race leader is pulling into pit lane, and here comes Kyle Busch, and he's heading your way, Shannon Spake.